Brian and Mary Hamilton, Mad Data IO, based in Roanoke, Virginia, founded in 2004, and they have 11 employees. They're at 1.6 million in 2021, and they're currently at an event closing business right now, which is very cool. And last year revenues were up with $985,000, which is, again, it's just phenomenal growth. MRR was up 101,999, and net profit up 1,800%, which is just phenomenal. So, yeah, guys, wow. Tell me a little bit about your business. Like, who's your target market? Give us a little bit more about your business.
Our target market is mainly manufacturing. That's the crux of what we have. And then after that, it's going to be legal and CPAs. That makes up the bulk of what we take care of those three.
Okay. Now, when you guys came, when did you become members? It was
July of 2018.
It was like 2018, right? And I remember, like,
Right.
if you don't mind me saying, I think you guys were struggling at the time. If my memory serves, I don't know if you want me to ask that or not.
Yes.
That's real.
Yeah, we were.
Failures, and let's talk about your misery and your failures, and how, like,
it was sad. It was sad.
It was a bad day in the neighborhood. Yeah.
Yeah.
Real bad day.
Talk about that a little bit, if you don't mind, just because I'm sure there's a lot of people who can identify with that.
We had like $100,000 in debt when we got the letter in the mail, and then we really couldn't do it. So we had to, after we said yes, decided we were going to do it, I had to go to a millionaire and ask him for money to be able to pay for, just to sign up with what you guys had, because we knew this was the right thing for us. And so that's what we had to do. And right when we got back from like going through rapid implementation, this 2 days, we lost our largest customer, which paid us $100,000. It's 1/3 of our revenue. In 2017, we made $330,000. So right when we got back, we had to start selling. Like, nothing was set up, and we had to sell our way out of our problem, which we did. We ended up going to 18, we climbed to 425. So even in spite of the loss.
Wow. I mean, Mary, I know that made you anxious, because how many kids do you have?
We have 5. Yeah.
Five kids.
It was not, 5 kids. Yeah. It wasn't, at that point, like right before, I just had a baby like a year and a half before we joined you, and like helping in the business. We had just come out of having the business in our home, took a step, put it in like a storefront, because I needed to get my home back because I had a buttload of kids, right? And another one on the way. So I was like, we need help. I mean, it was like, from a, real standpoint, it was a scary time, because, you've got employees, you've got debt, you've got life, and you can't afford like anything. And it's not the easiest to sit here and be like, yeah, no, it was difficult to buy groceries. Like, that was a hard time for me. Like, I don't want to get, and that's where I'm like, okay, stop. Like, because we're past that point now, thankfully. But that was a driving force for us, was I don't want to be poor for the rest of my life. Like, I didn't want to be in this state where, like, a struggling entrepreneur with that sad violin song of we ain't got no money.
Yeah, I hear that. So what did you guys do? What was the biggest campaign or campaigns or changes or strategies you did to turn the ship around? I mean, you said sell your way out of it, but give us something more like specific.
We did the cross-selling campaign like that. Right when we got back from rapid implementation, we knew that we had to sell security. So we went through our whole stack, like all of our clients, and we started selling, like implementing cybersecurity. We started upselling with cybersecurity. Then that grew. Then the next round, like, we had to thresh some more clients out because they didn't want to pay. Like, at that point, we were break fix. We had a bolted together managed services like option that we had done. So we really had to grow our business to learn what was managed services, what is managed security, how do we do that and do it correctly. And so we got rid of more clients and then started selling managed services and creating contracts and creating, monthly recurring revenue, because we didn't know what any of that was. So upselling and cross-selling was a huge part for that first part of our growth. after joining Technology Marketing Toolkit.
Okay.
And then what we did though, we actually copied one of your events that your big event that you did with like the theme of The Greatest Showman. We actually copied that and brought it. Like I watched what you did. We brought it to Roanoke and copied that like in February of 2020. We brought in 5 different vendors that come and speak at your events, and they all came. We had to sell them to buy into us. And that was fun. But we had to sell them on somebody who didn't have anything, and they came, and that event was a huge catapult for us because I just ran the numbers last night just to double check. We did $165,000 in project work out of that. We added, I don't remember, it was 12 or 15 grand of MRR, and it spawned JV partnerships out of that because we never had revenue to hire a marketing person or a caller because we just didn't have it. Because we paid ourselves like $50,000 a year. That's what we were paying ourselves combined, me and her. So we couldn't, the money wasn't there. So we had to
for a second, I was like 50 grand each is 100 grand. Okay. You know, you're like, no.
No,
that was it.
Grand.
That was total.
That was it. Yeah. So like we had to be good. We had to be scrappy and had to be, find an area to be good at. And we always were good at relationships. So we started developing relationships and exercising JV partners because it was the cheapest thing that we could do, because what we spent was our time with people on the phone and developing those relationships, which we're able to get, which led to our success in 2021.